and welcome to today's Parent Cafe. Today we're going to talk about assessment at UDIS. Today we're going to explain about assessment and why it is important. We're going to share some of the types of assessment techniques that we use at UDIS. We're going to show you how these are used to feed into our final and end of year reports. And we're going to talk about how children are learning to peer assess each other and to carry out self-assessments on their own learning. And then at the end, you're going to have an opportunity to participate in some friendly assessment activities. So why do we assess? Well, there are several reasons, one being to track the progress of each child. You'll also use assessment as goal setting for students. We also use assessment to feed into planning future lessons, so we know that we're planning lessons that meet the needs of the students. And then what are some different kinds of assessment? So teacher observations, watching the children and taking note of the things that they're saying and doing. We also use rubrics or continuums. This is a rubric from PY about making a poster, and this shows the children how they can be successful in their project. And it gives descriptions of different levels of understanding. So you can see for each category, there is a different level. So 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then this is an EY rubric that we use as part of our summative assessment at the end of a unit of inquiry. And you can see here that the concepts that were being focused on, the approaches to learning that were being focused on, and the learner profiles that were being focused on would all be assessed. There would be a statement of what we were looking for from the children, those success criteria, and then we would grade whether that skill was emerging, expected, exceeding, or not observed. In the EY, we are also using Tapestry now as our learning journal. This is where our teacher observations feed in. So we can take photographs, videos, record audio of the children, take photographs of the work that they've produced, and then we can make notes on what we've seen or heard them saying and doing during that observation, and we can link that to the standards for the EYFS, and then we share that with parents so that they can see the journey that the children are on as well. We also use checklists, so this would be something that the children would use. Again, these are things that let the children know what they need to do to be successful, and they tick off the checklist as they think they've included each item, and then there's also space for the teacher to go through and do the same thing as to whether or not they agree with the child. So a big part of our assessment at UDIS is our portfolios and student-led conferences. In the EY, Tapestry is now forming the children's portfolios. Teachers also leave handwritten comments on children's work. They leave encouraging and supportive comments and directions for next steps. They let the children know what their strengths were, what they did really well, and how they can move forward and improve for next time. And then another big part of assessment feeds into our end of year report. So here we have a primary years example. So this is a PY end of year report, and you can see the different features of that report here. So teachers will comment on English, mathematics, units of inquiry, personal, social and physical education, Thai language, the arts, and then there will be a comment from the homeroom teacher and a reflection from the student. And for each of those sections, the teacher will grade the standards as beginning to meet expectations, progressing towards, or consistently meeting. And they will also let the parents and students know a strength, something that the child is doing very well, and a learning target, which is direction for improvement and next steps and how the child can move forward. Our report looks like this. It's very similar to the PY report. but we are covering our 7 areas of learning from the UIFS. So we have personal, social, emotional development, communication and language, physical development, literacy, Thai, mathematics, knowledge and understanding of the world, expressive art and design. Then we make a comment on the units of inquiry, the approaches to learning, the learner profile, and then the student makes a reflection on their learning. And again, in each area, the teacher will grade the child on whether they are emerging, expected, or exceeding. And there is a space for the teacher to comment on the child's strengths, what they're doing really well, and give them a learning target and next steps for moving forward. Okay, so another big part of assessment at UDIS is peer and self-assessment, getting the children to start to recognise what it is that we're expecting from them. So to do that, we give them the success criteria, what it is that we're looking for, and we ask them to assess themselves and their peers and their friends so that they can go through and say, yes, you did this really well, and next time you need to do this to improve. So we can see an example of that here.
Hi, Ita. I'm going to give you 2 stars and a wish. Star number 1. I like how you speak loudly. Star number 2. I like how you showed us your board. Star number 3. I wish you should not block your face with the board. Bye, Lisa. I think you are a pretty Jedi Master. Bye.
Okay, so that was Al from our year 3 class giving some feedback to his peer Licha about what he thinks she did really well in her presentation. To do this, he used 2 stars and a wish. So he said 2 things that Licha did really well, and then 1 thing that he thought she could improve for next time. This is a very common form of assessment in the primary years, and here's Mr. Kane to tell us more about 2 stars and a wish.
2 stars and a wish. Task: eat your lunch without making a mess. Success criteria: sit down, close your mouth, chew over your plate. I'm going to give Gib a star. I like the way she's sitting down, and I'm going to give her a wish too. Next time, I think you should put your plate under you. Tashi, I'll give you a star. I like the way you're sitting down. Leela, I have a wish for you. I wish that you would sit down the whole time you are supposed to be eating. Giving stars, commenting on 2 things that person's done well. You could always draw them a star. There. Will that do? Here's a few ideas of how you could say it. I think you successfully using the success criteria. So you'll have to check what the success criteria is and see if they've done it successfully. Remember? I like the way she's sitting down. I like the way you... Oh, I noticed you. My favourite part was... I want to try to be more like you because... I laughed when... Or you're very good at... How could I give someone a wish? Giving a wish. A wish is a comment to help someone make what they're doing better. Make their work better. I am a genie. I will grant you 1 wish. No, it's not really like that, is it? You could say, I don't think you successfully... Thinking about the success criteria. So maybe they haven't done as good a job as you think they could, or maybe they just completely forgot altogether. Why don't you? Or I think you should try. Now there are lots of ways Other ways that you could put your stars in wish, you don't have to just say it like that. Just remember the most important things. You want to celebrate a couple of things, 2 things. That person's done well, stars. And make a wish. Try and help them make their work even better. I like the way you are giving each other feedback and helping each other. So there is one of my stars, and I'm going to go comment. Here's the success criteria. It's quite clearly laid out on the success criteria. Your paragraphs need to be 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. Separate your paragraphs into the 4 ideas in the success criteria. I like the way you watched this video to the end. I noticed you tried to use the success criteria to be successful. I wish you used the 2 stars in a wish poster to help you give feedback.
Okay, so that's how you can use 2 stars in a wish to give peer or self-assessment. There are also rubrics that we can use, and this will help the children, support the children in giving that peer and self-assessment to make sure that it is constructive. Okay, so now it's your turn. We're going to watch a short video about how to make a paper aeroplane. Please try to do this at home and follow along with the instructions. Okay, so that was how to make a paper aeroplane. Let's see how you got on. Were you able to meet the success criteria? Could you fold the paper corner to corner or edge to edge? How well did you do this? Were you emerging? So you're just beginning to master this skill. Expected? You're on track for mastering this skill, or exceeding? You have more than mastered this skill. Same for each one. No overlap on the folds. Follow the instructions step by step. And how well your plane flew. And then you can go one step further and give yourself 2 stars and a wish. What were 2 things that you were really proud of yourself for? And what is one thing that you would like to improve next time? Okay, so we have reached the end of our presentation today. I really hope that you enjoyed learning about how we assess at UDIS and why it is really important for teachers and students. And if you have any questions, please feel free to email the office and we will be sure to get back to you with a reply. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.